29th, 2018, and it's my first missions trip to El Salvador. And my husband, this is his 6th missions trip to El Salvador.
Yes.
So the first one that you went on back in 2012, you came back a completely changed man. Now, we've been married now for 18 years, so I was used to the way you always were, and then you came back and your heart was transformed. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, I think one of the things that transformed me was it's just a humbling experience that you come and you're able just to help those who basically have no access to clean water. I mean, it's just an amazing thing to be able to drill a well in the middle of a jungle and just, you have clean water. Something that these people will never, ever, ever forget.
And you built a lot of community. You came back and you were like, let's hang out, let's have more friends, let's open our hearts, let's be more inclusive. Talk a little bit about the community here in El Salvador. What's it like for people who live here?
Well, one of the things that we, as living in the States, really don't get to do is we don't get to know our neighbors. These guys live in small villages. In the village that we're going to tomorrow, there's about 22 to 24 families, and these guys are all related. Somehow or another, these guys are related, and they watch out for one another. They open their door, and if someone's in trouble, well, the person comes by and he helps. And in the States, you really, really don't get that often.
Well, because people's lives are so busy and they get wrapped up in being very self-absorbed, me included, right? So talk a little bit about what it's like to serve as a Christian in this mission. Like, we are with a group of about 10 of us, right, this time around?
Yes, we're 10 strong here, and we're with an organization called Living Water International. Now, this group has been here for about 17, 18 years in El Salvador, and it's just a fantastic group that's based out in Houston. I'll put the link below, so this way if you want to check something out, you can go to livingwater.com. And these guys are basically from El Salvador, and their church, as we call it, is providing clean water. This is their church. This is their serving. By serving God, this is what they do. And they get to do it for a living. This is their job.
And you built some friendships.
Oh, yes. I mean, we've gotten to know Carlos and Angela. You haven't met his wife yet, Norma. I know Stanley, who's not here yet today. I know Enrique, who's one of the drillers. And it's just like long lost brothers.
So we are so super excited to be on a mission together as a married couple. It's our 2nd missions trip as a married couple. The first one we went to Dominican Republic with an organization called Handfuls of Hope. And I just feel like serving alongside with my husband really helps us to have a stronger bond with each other in our marriage, and then also a stronger bond to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who we are completely devoted to. And it just really strengthens our faith to be able to serve in this capacity. We have so many people to thank for us being here. We personally donated out of our own funds, but we also did some fundraising. So thank you to all of our friends and family who contributed.
The idea of this video is to show you from start to finish what we're going to do, as we're here for basically 4 days. It's going to take us 4 days to drill this well.
But the whole trip is a week. We have two pretty big travel days. Today was a big long travel day, and then the day that we leave is a big long travel day, because you can't really fly here directly. It's not offered that much. Honey, I'm so happy we're here.
Yes, me too.
Okay.
So this basically is our ride to the village every day. As you can see, we're probably heading into some sort of a remote type of area that most people have never been to in their lives. But it's actually pretty cool because you can see that we start off on some cement roads and wind up on the dirt roads. So sit back and enjoy the quick little ride.
front of the rig where we had 10 volunteers serving to help drill the well alongside representatives from Living Water International. The community could not have been more gracious as we arrived here to be part of their mission to help provide clean water. It's amazing how they're getting water now. I actually experienced for myself lowering a bucket and pulling it up, and it was really heavy, only to get, like, I would say 5 or 6 gallons of water after all that hard work. And the water that they're pulling up from the well they have now is what we call dirty water. It's not clean. So we needed to come here with Living Water International and drill a well that went way, way deeper so that they can have access to clean water, which is going to prevent diseases and help them live in a more abundant community because they have amazing clean water. This has been a transformational experience for me, and I'm so grateful to be here in El Salvador, meeting and greeting with the community. They're just remarkable individuals with hearts of gold.
So one of the things we do here is we tour the villages and we tour the houses with all the people as part of a welcoming and part of an acceptance and partnership here between villages and us.
It's a huge revelation because you always wake up in America with everything that you ever would need, and here things that we take for granted every day, like a toilet bowl, is very makeshift here. Very, very makeshift.
So what you see behind me here is the water source that this village used to get from. Just imagine you had to bring your children down here to come and get water for the day from this. And just another reason why we're doing what we do.
As you see, we just began the drilling process. It's not that difficult. You're putting in these big pipes. Air is being forced down through those pipes, which is pushing up the water as you see. And our driller just basically pulls the lever and brings the pipe down. The only thing is, you're gonna get wet. Right, Janet?
So today is an exciting day. Yesterday was day one and we hit water. Yes, we were able to hit water. We're gonna drill today. So today what we're gonna do is we're gonna go down about a couple more meters. We're gonna pull all the pipes out. We're gonna put the casing in, and the casing basically is the structure for the well. So what we'll do is that casing will go down. I believe we went down 65 meters, which is phenomenal. We've got tons of clean water. And we are just going to basically build the structure, the hull of the well today. We'll fill it in with gravel, and then we'll cap it off. We'll do a little bit of a flush, and we'll cap it off.
Right now we're getting ready to prepare for our final flush. We're going to put in 2 more sections of drill pipe, which will probably be about another 10 to 15 meters, get us down to about 75 meters. We will then flush air and water into the borehole, so this way we'll start getting a nice clean water flow. These drill pipes are not the easiest to maneuver. Each one weighs about 40 to 50 pounds, but after you handle it a few times you get used to it. What you see now is the shell for the well. This basically is going to serve as the case for the borehole, and the pump will basically go inside of this white PVC. This is going to keep the structure and keep that borehole intact so nothing collapses on us. The tricky part here is, since we're down 65-70 meters, if we drop this pole, this PVC, into the hole, we've basically lost our well, because this is only about 30 feet. We're down 65-70. So you'll see us holding on to this thing with dear life. And here's a little something you don't always see every day in New Jersey. Little cattle drive happening in the middle of the road.
The cows in El Salvador are absolutely beautiful. There were so many of them, and I couldn't get enough of looking at them and watching them. Their behaviors were amazing to me. Here you see me just about to feed a cow some salt. And I'm with my buddy John Dennis, who was acting as an interpreter to the one woman who's in charge of the cows. And we're carefully walking over to a cow to feed them salt. And I was super excited, but also quite nervous and a little bit scared. It was a great experience. I'll never forget this part. I loved the cows.
Can I move away now?
But yeah, move your hand slowly though. So this is the process of cleaning out the water. We'll sit here, we'll go have some lunch, and we'll just let this thing run and it'll clean out.
The most exciting part of our trip, where we actually hit tons and tons of clean water. So as you can see, it's spraying out and the whole community is getting together. It's a big celebratory moment between the community and the volunteers from America who have helped to build the well through Living Water International. I mean, you want to talk about a celebration. The smiles on these kids' faces, the parents, they have such a sense of pride because now they live in a community where their children are no longer going to get sick from dirty water. It's an extraordinary moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
We are going to finish the well. We are way ahead of schedule, which is great. Today we are in the home stretch. Right now what we're going to do is we capped off the well last night. Today we're going to build the concrete pad.
Mixing cement for the concrete pad is some hard labor. You see the woman in the blue shirt? She was one of my favorite short-term missionaries. Her name is Karen, and she's actually 73 years old. And I was so impressed with how devoted she was to making sure she was part of the process of some of the most extraordinary moments of building this well. So Karen is actually the mother of another short-term missionary by the name of Rebecca, who we go way back with from a previous church that we were a member of. Other people helping Karen mix the concrete for the pad are actual residents of the community in which will enjoy the well. So what's remarkable about this experience is that it's not just a bunch of Americans coming into a village to provide clean water for a community, but the community and the Americans coming together, working together, bonding, and really appreciating each other's personalities and even our cultures. There were so many opportunities to speak with the villagers. They all obviously speak Spanish. Very few of them, actually none of them, spoke English. And we had a number of interpreters that could actually help us make that connection. What was really impressive was the two individuals who worked for Living Water International, Enrique and Danny, who spoke fluent English, and we connected with them a lot. When you saw the footage of us going into the village the very first day, we were actually in the front seat with Danny from Living Water International, who lives in El Salvador, talking to him about the whole week ahead of us. And he was just a great communicator, and English is his second language. He's studying to be a civil engineer in university, and he's just a very intelligent individual, as was Enrique. And we just absolutely love the people from El Salvador. Look at how hard these men are working in the sun. It was like 95 degrees that day. And yes, there was humidity, but actually Florida has more humidity than what I experienced in El Salvador.
Now that the cement is ready, we can begin the process of building the foundation or the base where the pump will sit. You'll notice that we're pouring cement over the rocks. The rocks are basically acting as the reinforcement for the cement. This way, our cement is really strengthened, which will endure the summer heat. What you see now is getting ready to set the base of the pump. This is a critical process and a critical piece to making sure that the pump will act properly, and it definitely needs to be level. Right now, Danny is pulling out the level and trying to see how close he is. Hey, Danny's making his final adjustments here. And then here comes Enrique. Enrique's like, I got it. And here's where we all got a big laugh. Watch Enrique just pick up this big rock, level it, but look what happened to the level. Boom. Fell right into the well. Alright, the guys are putting the final touches on the base. And you can see how nice and smooth these guys are getting it. It's something that we can never do. The guys are laying brick, which will take the excess water that is pumped out and help drain it away from the well.
So we have crossed the finish line in building a well in El Salvador. I'm so grateful for all of the donors that actually helped make this happen, and for Living Water for doing an extraordinary job in organizing the trip, and the community who did an amazing ceremony to make us feel so very appreciated for giving our time and our resources and coming to El Salvador and understanding their culture and how they actually connect with each other and try really never to let anybody down. I think the highlight of my day was when we read the story in Luke chapter 10 verse 25 through 33, where Jesus talks about the Good Samaritan and how important it is that we help each other and pick each other up when we fall, and that's what I feel like we did today.
Yeah, absolutely. We did this today, and as you can tell by the crowns on our heads, that's what they honored us with being the Good Samaritans for this community.
It was an extraordinary, very emotional experience when the community had us all sit in a row and pour love into our hearts for the appreciation for all of the volunteers that came out to serve.
So again, we just thank you guys for making this possible and partnering with us, with Living Water, in creating this well to be able to bring clean water to this village, which will last for many, many generations.
And I think we're going to come back.
I think we're definitely coming back.
And maybe you come with us.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you.
Certainly will.
Keep pumping, baby. Pump it like you mean it.
Oh no! Yeah, that's
Just keep going.
Our missions trip to El Salvador was an experience of a lifetime. We grew so much spiritually and emotionally, and the relationships we developed made us all better people. Our team, Janet's team, which included Craig, Karen, Rebecca, Safira, John Dennis, Sheila, Trish, Janet, John, and myself, came together for a common goal to forever change the lives of a village in El Salvador so they can have access to clean water. Clean water changes everything. Thank you for being part of our mission, a mission we will never forget.